All right, for this one, Junior Code program number 9, I want to go over some of the requirements and what to expect and how things should work. So the objectives is to utilize your functions, loops, strings, etc. that we've been learning. You can create a menu as you see here. And we did a menu a while back, which basically prompted the user to enter a value, and it didn't do anything besides just display what option you have selected. So you're going to add more code to that. So each of these components here are going to be their separate functions. So a square, rectangle, a triangle, a right triangle specifically, and a circle. And what you're going to do then is once the individual selected the option there, you'll have 4 different options or 4 different functions for each of these. Round to 2 decimal places, and then make sure that you have your program header, so something like this. And in the template that I have set up is we have a main area here that you start with the call functions or end with the call functions, but you're going to create all your functions over in this particular area. Another interesting thing that I did with this particular code is that I've created a function to clear the screen. And what happens is this. So let me break out of the program here. So if you're going to run the program right now, the program would basically start at the next line and kind of go up as it needs to. What the function does when you put it in the correct place and you call it at the right area at the right time, what will happen then is all this information gets cleared and things start up right at the top. So when I click on run, everything got cleared out and we have this particular information up on top. So it just gives you a more cleaner presentation. So you want to include that in your program if you're able to. And I have the message header. We utilize this message header in previous labs. You kind of have an idea of how that works. So the information that you pass to this particular function should display something along of this. And I have a lot of information about the tips and tricks here. Now, when a user selects any of these options, what you're doing is you're calculating 2 things. You're calculating the perimeter as well as the area of the item. So everyone should know how to figure out the perimeter and the area of a square, rectangle. A right triangle is going to be easier. You need to figure out what the mathematical calculation is for that. And then same thing with a circle. So if you notice that in the code, I have imported the math, and we did another program that we use the pi value to calculate a area of a circle in the previous lab. And this is another module that was imported, import OS, that is used to clear the screen. So again, this is the syntax to clear the screen. And you notice that I have, if OS name is NT, else clear. This simply means that depending on the operating system that you're working on. So the operating system has an effect of how the screen is cleared. And now let me basically run through and see how the program works. This particular program does use some of the challenge code concepts here. So if I select number 1, enter the length. So let's do 5, and you can see the output, the perimeter of the square is 20, the area of the square is 25. Do you want to play again? And this is one of the challenge code components here. So if I type in anything in there, it'll basically identify, please enter yes or no. We've done a similar program like this. Even if I type in yes, that's not the correct answer. If I do lowercase y, that should work as well. You notice that it cleared the screen and we're back up to this. So if I do option number 2, we'll do 4 and 5. You notice that we have our output. We'll clear this, play again. We'll do the triangle, and for the base I'll do 4, 10. These are the values that you should be getting for the output for a right triangle, if I do value 4 and 10, now we'll determine the area of a circle. So we'll do option number 4, we'll do 5. And notice that the display of pi is going to be this value, the perimeter of the circle is 3.42, and this is how it looks without rounding, and then the area of the circle is identified as 78.54. Do you want to continue? No, and then it basically exits the program like that. All right, so that's kind of the idea in terms of how the program is supposed to work.